Right now, all up and down the Australian coastline, there's a massive battle going on. It's over the number of marine parks springing up along our shores, those vast stretches of ocean where fishing is banned. Conservationists and governments are pushing for even more of these no-go zones, but local fishermen believe they should be able to dangle a line where they want, when they want. With research suggesting that the world's fish population has plummeted by 90% in the last half-century, everyone agrees that something has to be done. The question is what, and how you balance the needs of the environment against every Australian's right to bear a rod. In the coastal town of Tweed Heads on the border of New South Wales and Queensland, fishing is a way of life. A chance to commune with nature and escape the stresses and urgencies of the modern world.
It's everything to people. It is everything. That is all they know. And this is where we live. We are not the centre of a country. We are a country surrounded in water.
But all around our island continent, die-hard anglers like Angela Dennison fear we're being locked out of the very waterways that have made fishing our most popular national pastime.
And we are conserving and we are doing everything your scientists tell us to do, and we double it.
Today, instead of throwing a line, they're hurling abuse, furious at plans to close off large areas of Australia's coastal waters to establish international marine parks.
And we make sure we put 3 centimetres on the top of that fish because we're so damn good at catching them. And if we're so good at it, we could have 100, but we don't. We have 10. We have 20. We don't take everything.
They get very upset. I've gone and spoken to them about it, and I might as well just be talking to a lamppost. They just believe they have this God-given right to kill whatever they want to in the ocean.
Conservationists like Valerie Taylor support our government's commitment to the global effort to reverse the rapid decline of the world's fish population. That means vast no-take areas will be declared right around the national coastline. Every state will be affected. Valerie knows it also means a looming long-term battle with both commercial and amateur fishermen.
They just think that a no-take area, a protected area of the ocean, is a blight on their fishing. They have so much area to fish. They sort of make noises like, you know, we'll go broke. It's all lies. It's not true.
You go in first, Valerie. I'll come in if it's all right. Still diving and still in the pink, well into her 70s, Valerie Taylor is world-renowned as Australia's shark lady. She spent almost 5 decades underwater, initially as the Australian spearfishing champion. Then, in an amazing backflip, she gave it all up to conserve what she'd once killed.
I'm sick of the fishermen saying, you've taken away all our rights. You're horrible. Come on. The areas that are totally protected, no-take zones, by comparison are very small, and we must enlarge them. It's important for the marine environment. In a way, the fishermen should be on our side, not against us, because in the long run, it's going to benefit the areas where they fish.
You want to close it? You want to close it?
But it's a global message not going down well on this blistering hot Saturday in the Tweed, where a marine reserve is planned just off the coast.
I'm the secretary of him and him and him and him and her and that child over there, and that man has never spoken to me ever.
All the scientists and all the reports I've looked at do not support what's happening with this marine park program. So as far as I'm concerned, it needs to be put on hold, and we need to get the science and peer-reviewed science.
There are big issues that go beyond what any specific government can do at any one time.
Absolutely.
I'm the one making these decisions. I'm the one enforcing these rules. I can give you all my paperwork, but I'm just a lowly secretary of an amateur fishing club.
Angela Dennison is far from a lone voice. No-take zones will extend beyond the coastline to deep-sea fishing areas.
Got it!
Places like this, where sports fisherman Keith Douglas and his mates have spent their best days.
Well, there's going to be an invisible line drawn where if you go over it, you're going to be subject to fines and penalties.
How keen do you have to be to go out today?
Well, it's all, you know...
You guys are mad.
Well, not really. It's, you know, it's all good fun, Charles. Just makes it more fun.
The stormy waters Keith has brought us to today may turn out to be a mere squall compared to the brewing battle against marine parks.
Well, governments everywhere know that people want them to do something about the environment. It's a major preoccupation. Is creating a marine park just an easy thing to do?
Let's face it, we want a future for fishing, both commercially and from a lifestyle and recreational point of view. It's how we go about that, and the reason why there's so much passion and anger in this subject is the fact that there is a complete lack of confidence in the way the government is going about it. We can't afford to get it wrong, and that's what we're doing. We're going down the wrong path.
And so I set out to find where that path might lead. And this is where I ended up, in paradise. Way out in the Western Pacific, just north of the equator, somewhere between the Philippines and Hawaii, is the tiny oceanic Republic of Palau. Little Palau is more water than land. In fact, it owns an area of sea the size of Texas, every drop protected by law.
I'm cast away from the wet, sticky but beautiful tropical island of Magoon. It's one of 300 that make up the nation of Palau. There's no one around because there's only 20,000 Palauans and they live lightly on their land. Instinctively, they've always known as island people that resources are finite, that you can too easily eat yourself out of house and home. Perhaps that's why they've taken the first great environmental step of the 21st century and made over their vast ocean holdings some 500,000 square kilometres of Pacific Ocean to become a marine park for the whole world. It's an extraordinary act of generosity.
I think that the more people come and see a place like this, the more people will want to protect whatever they have at home in their own country.
With just flippers and a snorkel, Palau's famous coral reefs offered me an incredible view. But strap on a scuba tank, go a little deeper, and it's teeming with marine life. Some of the world's most diverse species. In numbers 20% higher than before the no-take laws.
The reefs are in excellent condition, and I will say that with this protection, it's going to surprise everybody. I think they have a great future with what they've done, and certainly they're leading the world in how to protect their wilderness areas, the marine environment. No young person today will ever know how wonderful the marine environment off the coast of Australia used to be. They'll only know how man has made it, what man has done to it.
Scientifically, nothing's proven. Environmentally, as people of fish and live in it, work in it, and do everything we can to preserve our own industry, we do everything possible to preserve this. Why would we destroy the very thing that we live for and is giving us generations of work?
Certainly, Palauan life happens at a completely different pace from Australia. It's island time. Less worldly, less materialistic, and with only a tiny fraction of the population.
I think it's a moral obligation for every leader to protect the natural heritage. It's our moral obligation to be good stewards.
The man responsible for Palau's historic decision to preserve its waters is its president, the softly spoken Pacific statesman Johnson Torrebiong.
All in all, most Palauans are very concerned about conservation, about protecting the environment, about ensuring that our oceans will continue to sustain us.
What should Australians take from the example of Palau, this small country with nothing that's giving up so much?
Maybe Australia, a big country with everything, could just give up 20%. Is that asking too much? Not at all. It's not asking too much. And it's got to be totally protected, a no-take zone, where you can visit and enjoy, not take and destroy.
The whole Pacific Ocean lies between the Tweed Heads Fishing Club and the Republic of Palau. Between the values and beliefs of those who would create marine parks and those who would go on fishing as usual, there is also an oceanic gulf. In fact, at this stage, you could say the only thing they have in common are the vital waters they're fighting over.
No one's saying that we don't have to future preserve things. No one's saying that. But when you stop something and for one idealistic way, then that is wrong. We're millions of people who fish, and for millions of people not to be heard is just downright wrong.
I would love to think that my little nephews and your grandchildren could see a little bit of the ocean off the coast of Australia as nature intended it to be, not as man has made it. I would like to think that. That's my hope.